And closing statements for Donald Trump's historic hush money trial could happen as soon as next week. The defense lawyers cross-examined Mr. Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, yesterday. He is seen as a key witness, and his testimony has linked Mr. Trump directly to payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Sally Patterson reports from New York.
Donald Trump's team has a two-pronged approach when it comes to bringing down Michael Cohen. Firstly, trying to undermine what he's said so far in this historic case in New York City. Secondly, trying to tear him down as a credible witness in this trial at all. We heard on Thursday a look at some of those conversations that Cohen says he had way back in 2016 between himself and Donald Trump. He says in a phone call in October of that year, "I told them Stormy Daniels had been paid and the matter had been resolved," referring to an alleged payment of $130,000 made to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election in order for her to stay quiet about an affair she said she had with Donald Trump a decade before. Trump has always denied that affair ever took place. Now, the reason that this was brought up by the defense was basically to try and disprove what Cohen had been saying all along, which was that Trump knew about that payment and had actually given the go-ahead on that payment. That's what the prosecution had led the jury to believe, but now the defense saying that wasn't the case at all. In fact, the defense claims that in the lead-up to that phone call in 2016, texts between Cohen and others suggested that he'd been harassed by a 14-year-old, and that was what he wanted to bring up to Trump and his bodyguard. Nothing to do, they say, with Daniels at all. Now, we also heard audio played to the jury from last year with Cohen heard saying, "I truly hope that this man ends up in prison. You better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to my family." That recording attempting to show, according to the defense, that Cohen was a vindictive, angry, frustrated ex-employee determined to bring down his former boss. At one time, Cohen referred to Trump's family as his surrogate family. The two were incredibly close. In fact, Cohen said that he would once take a bullet for Donald Trump, but that relationship has since turned sour. Cohen is now the key witness in this historic trial, which could see Donald Trump behind bars if found guilty. He's pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts. Here's what he said earlier.
You know, they're trying to rush to get it done before the election so that they can harm me, so they can hurt their political opponent. They're rushing. All this rush. There's no rush. These trials take forever. But this one, they're rushing it. We're here early in the morning and we leave in the evening. Now the judge wants to extend the time periods so that we can get this thing done fast before the election. It's terrible.
Donald Trump maintains that this is a ploy by his political opponents to try and keep him off the campaign trail and inside a courtroom instead. He calls the trial a political witch hunt, says it shouldn't have been brought now, it could have been brought 7 years ago, saying that this is election interference at the highest level. Sally Patterson, CNA, New York.